Morning.
Join Weems Memorial Hospital Board of Directors meeting. Our vision is providing quality care close to home. Date is October 30th, 2025. This meeting will be videoed and our audio recorded. There's a Zoom link on there. Call to order. Do we have a quorum? Yes, we do. Okay. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Before we get there, Michael's here with the county. Would you like to say anything? I mean, you're standing right there and everything.
Good morning, have a good weekend, I guess.
Okay. Well, I want to recognize that you're here, you know. I think that's kind of nice to do that, little protocol.
It is. That's good.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? If so, if not, all approve?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next item on the agenda is Employee of the Month, Mr. Walker.
Well, thank you all for recognizing the Employee of the Month. Also want to thank you all for wearing pink shirts today in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness.
Except for me.
Except for Duffy, but we'll get you a shirt later.
The board has officially, what's that term, censured me? Censured me. I have an official reprimand from the board.
Yeah, but thank you all.
Thanks for bringing that up.
The Employee of the Month was nominated by a fellow coworker, and it reads, her name is Pam LeConte. Pam is a nurse here at the hospital. And the employee said, I would like to nominate Pam LeConte because of her exceptional care and compassion she showed to my mother and grandmother during their visits to the ER. Not only did she go above and beyond in ensuring they felt comfortable, cared for, and respected, she also extended her kindness during a stressful and emotional time. Alongside her professionalism and skill, she has a wonderful wit, sense of humor that kept the atmosphere light when things felt heavy. Her ability to balance compassionate care with a touch of humor helped ease their stress and made my family feel more at ease. So Pam LeConte is a nurse that works in our ER, and she's not working today, so we cannot recognize her physically, but we wanted to recognize her because of the nomination, that was given on her behalf. So we'll just give a hand clap for Pam. Pam not here, but I'm sure she'll watch this video also. Thank you.
That goes to the next item on the agenda is customer service. I believe we're going to term it something else. It's just simple to me to say customer service. Apparently she strives for customer service. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'd like to thank her, and I'd like Courtney, you like to say anything? Ms. Alford?
Okay. Pam came to us probably a few years ago from up north, and she's got loads of experience. Every shift she works, she is just very knowledgeable and a teacher to all of our nurses. So, I mean, she's very knowledgeable, very smart. So we're blessed to have her at Weems and our ER. I'm thankful she works well with others and does well and teaches people every day, and strong nurse for our patients.
Makes your job a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
I'd like to ask the board if they ever swing by the hospital and see if she's on duty, maybe thank her personally. I think we need to start doing a little bit of that. These folks are working and stuff like that. We're not at the hospital now. So back to customer service. Mr. Walker, we've been doing anything extra with anything, initiatives, just a continual?
Yeah, just a continual, but it's more than customer service. I like to call it compassionate care.
Okay.
Because, we need to be more compassionate, from the CEO all the way down, to anybody that works in our hospital or our clinics, even EMS. I was, and I didn't tell James this yesterday, but someone told me that our EMS went out to their home to get their mother, and she said, the EMS people were so professional, kind and courteous and very exceptional, and so she wanted me to relay that message to you, James, for that. So, we get, we always strive for customer care, compassionate care. It's not an event. It's almost like a life cycle, meaning that it's something that you build into your culture at your hospital, on a consistent basis. And, sometimes we miss it. And when we miss it, we have to address it, and deal with it. but we all striving, just to do some extra, when we deal with our patients. Matter of fact, I got a lady that was in our swing bed program, elderly lady, and she walked all the way down to my office. I was surprised, but she had a long conversation with me, and it's something that happened, 2 or 3 years ago to her. But we had a great conversation, and she just bragged about the care that she was receiving now, but she had a not so good pleasant visit 3 years ago, in one of our facilities. So anyway, when we miss it, we deal with it, but we really want to put this into a lifestyle, of compassionate care for people in our community.
Absolutely. Thank you. Next item on is Dr. Conrad, medical staff report.
All right, good morning. Duffy, I promise not to be long-winded. I just got 3 things.
Okay. Yeah, I know. You're fine.
Item 1, I don't think it's ever been said in this venue before, but I wanted to make sure it was. Southland has gone away. It was begun back in '06 by Dr. Hart. I had been moonlighting here 20-some years ago, and a couple, 3 years after that, he started moonlighting here and wound his career back here, and he began Southland out of here. And over the years, I am not talking out of school to tell you all. I know for a fact that more than once this hospital would have been closed down were it not for the direct personal intervention of Dr. Hart. And a number of times he committed resources from Southland to Weems when it wasn't necessarily the best business plan. But this facility, this community, this staff has always been near and dear to his heart. And we all, myself personally, the hospital, the community, all owe Dr. Hart and his mom, our CFO, Miss Linda Bell, and his sister, our administrative coordinator, Lindy. We owe them all a debt of gratitude for getting us here to this point, for leaving us an intact medical staff, which brings me to my second point. Thank you all to everyone here, and thank you to the county commissioners for getting through this transition. I think we're getting through it pretty seamlessly. Mr. Walker has led us along that way. We have an intact medical staff. Services have not been disrupted. It's business as usual, and I think that's the best possible news. And the third thing I want to ask is, and so my sincere gratitude to you all. The third thing I want to ask is that we all remember, we're going to get to executive session later. It's been my experience in small towns and larger areas, every hospital has a lot of complaints, and a lot of complaints are valid and a lot of them are not. The complaints in a small town are amplified by the nature of it being a small town. If I had it in my power, I'd push a button and Facebook would disappear forever, but that's not going to happen. My request is that as we go forward, we remember, as Mr. Walker and Courtney have said, every single complaint, no exceptions, is dealt with respectfully, professionally. They get me involved when they feel like they need to, but nobody is dismissed. But as we do that, if we can encourage people in the community, just because someone said something at the pig or it was read on Facebook, this has been said about me, it's been said about me in county commission meetings by commissioner. Just because something is said does not automatically validate it as factual. And I just ask that going forward, we all encourage the community by way of supporting the hospital to be fair-minded with everything. And any complaint or concern goes through these two, and so we can do a proper evaluation and get all the facts before we kind of make any determination. That was it.
Well, the one thing too that I'd like your group to continue, we've talked about this before. Somebody goes to the emergency room, they're scared to death. I've been there, I'm scared to death, and the doctor is the most important person in the world to them. They're going to watch his every movement. They're going to do it, and the doctors have to realize that. I think we're doing a good job at that now, but just let's don't never let that slide.
Totally agree.
And 5 minutes laying in to see somebody is like 2 hours. So just a little smile and I say, we're getting to you, we have
Yeah.
another thing, that goes a long way, you know? And so that's the one thing that doctors don't realize, and it's a pat on the back, but it's kind of a little bit of a curse too, I guess, how important you are to that person at that particular time. You're the most important person in the world, you know? And I'll be honest, a nurse is not. This person, the person that signed me up, that doctor is important to me. So I want to commend you too. I didn't know how much Dr. Hart had helped us, but I do know the fact that you have been with us, tough times, good times, bad times, and kind of
Can't get rid of me.
And a guiding light, and we do appreciate that. And this seamless transition we're having is really, it's great. It's hard to completely change staff. I know how hard that is,
Yeah.
but we're not changing staff. We're keeping the same people, and let's continue to do it. But remind your doctors all the time how important they are. They
Absolutely.
are important, you know. I hate to say that to a doctor because they walk around, I think they think they're the most important person in the world, but that's the truth. That at that time and point, y'all agree?
Yeah.
You go to the emergency room, they're important. So, any other board members got anything to say? Anything? No. Okay.
And I
Thanks.
think, I just want to chime in what Dr. Conrad said about, when we get complaints, we get good views as well. And so we try to deal with it, but we also want, like we said about compassionate care, not only for me, our physicians, anybody that's touching anybody in our facilities, even from billing, anything, it's compassionate. And so sometimes, when individuals come to the ED, they are scared, their blood pressure is high, and so our job is to calm them down, and even if we don't feel like it, that's just our job, so that's for everybody to work together. And Dr. Conrad and I have been working with us very well, and we get, like I said, we get the good, bad, and ugly. Of course, Seafood Festival this weekend, I'm sure I ran into a whole bunch of people tell me some good things about the hospital, and some may tell me some bad things, but still we try to address those things as quickly as possible. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is EMS update, Mr. Osteen.
Good morning. All right, so no action items at the moment. I will be coming forward probably next meeting with a request for to get a set of Jaws of Life for the QRV. I think it's pertinent that we have it on there. This last wreck on the bridge kind of made that more aware that we really need. We love volunteers. Volunteers are great. They do above and beyond for our county, but they're volunteers. They have lives. They have jobs. They may or may not show up on the scene. We needed a set of jaws on that wreck on that bridge like now, and we just didn't have it. They had no way to get her out of that car.
So can you,
And,
James, explain to them what the Jaws of Life, what it is, because
That Jaws of Life, I mean, most people are familiar. It's a spreader. What I'm looking at is a combi. It's called a combi tool. It's a spreader and a cutter all in one tool, and it's battery powered. They've come a long ways with them since the hydraulic ones. But that's so we can, if we have to get in there, we have to cut the door open and cut the door off to get the patient out, or we have to cut the roof off or whatnot. We can go ahead and do that.
They're not hydraulic anymore?
They have some hydraulic, but they've made them a lot easier now with the battery powered.
Okay.
And a lot easier and a lot quicker to get to, and believe it or not, being something that big battery powered, you'd think, no way. But
What's
yeah,
the cost?
they're
What's the?
I'm waiting on quotes. I've got 2 quotes. I'm waiting on one more quote, but we're around so the highest one I've seen so far is about 12,000 for one tool. So, anyways, that'll be on the next. Hopefully, that'll be on the next action item on the next meeting.
The only thing that I'd like to say, though, if we've needed them, let's get them. And,
Yeah.
and I know that we'll have to approve it and stuff like that, so let's expedite that all we can.
So there are currently none on any trucks?
Fire departments and volunteers. We don't have any on EMS.
so do
And
we
you're
want
liable, that vehicle's like, liable to be the first one on the scene, correct?
So do we want to make a motion to pending, because, you know, our next meeting will be in November. And if he needs this,
Can we just go ahead and vote?
yeah, can we make
Yeah, I
a,
don't see why we can't.
can we make a motion, and then we'll send the quotes to you all, just
Yeah.
pending, you know, the review of the quotes from the board. That way, we're not holding, if the quotes come in later today, tomorrow, you know, let's go ahead and try to get these things in so we can at least get them ordered to get them on our trucks.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion pending we review the 3 quotes and not necessarily take the lowest one, but take the best one in your mind
Yes.
to move forward with the purchase of that equipment.
And if anybody has a problem, they'll shoot something back.
So that's my motion. We need a second.
Second.
Second, any more discussion?
Yes. Where are they gonna be housed?
They'll be on the QRV.
On the
How many of them?
Just have one set, because the QRV is gonna roll. And what we'll do is, until I get fully
Everybody that
staffed,
don't know, what's QRV?
the quick response vehicle, it's the
Okay,
captain's,
thanks.
the truck the
Let's
captain's
talk
on.
about that.
My goal right now is, as long as the captain's on it, we're good, it'll be fine. If the captain's not on it that day, I'll take the truck, and that way it'll still be responding until we can get fully staffed.
Do the volunteer fire departments, every one of them have Jaws of Life?
They have Jaws of Life, yes, sir. Some of them have the battery-powered ones like I'm proposing, and some of them have the old hydraulic ones that you have to have a hydraulic pump and everything else. But all of them have a set or another, one or the other.
And how many would you need here? One?
I'm just gonna get one for now. I mean, I would love eventually to get one for each ambulance. One for, you know, get three, one for each ambulance and one for the captain's truck.
Is
That's
there-
what I would like,
Is
but
there storage area on those ambulances?
yeah, we can make room for them. Just a little finagling, but no, we can make room for them.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
So I'm just thinking, you know, the QRV, so James and I will have some discussion about, you know, the 3 for the EMS vehicles, because I think maybe, you know, is it advantageous for us to get the 3 for the vehicles, you know, so each vehicle can have one, because one vehicle may get on the scene before another one.
Well, the other vehicles have the hydraulic Jaws of Life, correct?
The fire trucks,
None of our-
the fire
Fire
departments,
trucks.
the ambulances don't have any.
Yeah, I'm talking about EMS trucks, you know, should we,
Two captain trucks?
no, should we put them on each EMS vehicle? We got 3 EMS vehicles now, or should we
Okay,
just put them on the
if-
one QRV?
He's saying
Is it-
the 3 ambulances and the captain's trucks, what he's getting at.
What's the possibility that the ambulances get there first and the other vehicles, that Jaws of Life are needed? And I know East Point Fire Department's on it, could be up on a call up in, up 67 there, you know, 65, whatever it is.
Right.
Is that a possibility?
That's always a possibility, yes,
So
sir.
we have a possibility now that we could arrive on the scene and needing those Jaws of Life and it not be on the vehicle, not there, if we don't get them in ambulances.
Yes, sir. I mean, there's always that possibility, yes, sir.
Is there special training that has to go behind, for that?
There is training. Thankfully, most of our personnel have worked with the fire departments before, so they have the knowledge. A refresher training would be great.
Would, in the quotes, are you going to ask the training be put in the quotes?
Yes, sir. I'll see who I can get to do the training, and
Can you see, James, if we can get a better quote if we buy 3 or 4 as opposed to 1
yeah,
for each truck?
Good question.
see if we get a discount.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'd feel bad if we left this meeting and not be equipped out there like we
Yeah.
need to do. I mean, that's where we would, I know what you're trying to do is hold costs down, but it's just, this county spread out. We've had some terrible wrecks here.
Absolutely.
And I just would hate somebody to get there and couldn't get somebody out of a car. And you told me it could happen,
And
correct?
it did happen on this last wreck on the bridge. That
Yeah,
was
but
that was a bad wreck.
Just by
and,
doing this one would, if we did everywhere we should have them, which would be a total of 4
yes, sir.
Yes.
at 12,000 apiece, correct?
Yes, sir.
and possibly get a discount.
Hopefully, maybe.
Work your magic, James. See what you can do.
Well, we need to get rolling on this. Would you like to, Bill, like to amend your motion a little bit, or you hold it like this?
I have a comment.
Okay.
First of all, how often do you think we're going to have two wrecks at the same time where you need the jaws of life in two different places?
Can't predict it,
I
honestly.
mean, that, it seems fairly high odds
Right.
that's going to happen, number one. Number two, the chase vehicle gets out there first, usually before the ambulance, right?
Now, you
Captain's
remember,
vehicle.
now, if you get a wreck in Appalach,
Right.
at nighttime, the chase vehicle's coming from Carabel.
So they may be far away
So-
at the time.
That's right.
Okay, that's one question. Playing devil's advocate, I would just mention out there just to say this, and some of you might be thinking about it, but I'm just going to say it. What if we purchase this particular one now and wait till April for someone else to purchase it?
No, it's coming out of the same pot. No. I don't like that idea of waiting a little bit.
I just threw it out there for conversation's sake.
I didn't understand that. So what happens in April?
Well, capital improvement purchases coming out of our operating budget versus the county's operating budget, correct?
That's right.
I mean, I'm just going to lay it out there.
No, that's right.
I can't function that way.
I think we.
I can't, not this big a decision here. I can't function. I don't. You haven't made a motion for that, have you?
I have not.
The concern is the county's so big, and there's no way for you to predict, any of us to predict where a wreck's gonna happen.
Now, there's okay, so the county,
That's the
James
challenge.
purchases come out of capital outlay, and sometimes we'll pay for it to get reimbursed from the county, and sometimes not.
Yeah.
But this particular instance, for these four, if he gets the quotes now, he can present it, I guess, probably have to talk with Mike Morone, see if he can present it to the county, see if they can pay it out of the capital outlay fund for it, because that's what EMS purchases.
Yeah.
Capital outlay.
That
How
comes
soon
out of-
can
Yeah, and
how soon, James, can you get them here?
Like I said, I'm waiting on quotes now, so I don't
Okay.
know how quick their turnaround is to get them shipped and delivered, and
Okay.
I don't
Well,
have it on that.
David, the other thing to think about is, for 12,000, we can get that approved right here. We don't have to go anywhere to get approval. You want 4 of them, you're gonna have to go back to the county board of, county commissioners. It's above $50,000. We're gonna have to go to them for approval.
Yeah, well,
does
yeah,
that, right?
well, anything under $50,000, so it's $12,000 a piece.
Keep that
hopefully.
quote under 50, James.
What other thing, no, what I'm saying is that to get money out of the capital outlay fund,
Yeah.
the county commission has approved that anyway.
Right.
And usually for EMS purchases, it comes out the capital outlay fund for that. Now, sometimes we do pay for it ourselves, I got to give it to you, we do pay for that. But we'll see what the quotes will be, 12 times 4, that's $48,000,
No discount.
Does the sheriff's office have any of them?
No, sir.
They don't.
No, sir.
So our first responders,
Our first
What's the chances
responders,
of getting TDC to buy a bunch of them?
TDC.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I can talk to John on that and see if there's a possibility.
Yeah, but either way, the capital outlay fund is for EMS purchases. It's for EMS purchases
it's for.
anyway. If James get the quotes, send the quotes to you all, and then if it's can get on the agenda next week at the county, you have a conversation with Aaron, say, hey, we need to buy these, and then go back to the county, commission, get it out of the capital outlay fund. We can do that. But the idea is that we move and try to get these as soon as possible, so we're not waiting,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just my thought. That money, capital outlay money is for EMS
The biggest need
purchases.
right now is for the first responder vehicle, correct?
The chase vehicle, yes, sir.
Safe vehicle. Well, we have a motion out there. I don't remember.
Was
the
it for
second
1 or 2?
One. We do have a motion right now, $12,000, however we can get it. So I would think it would be good to revisit this at our next board meeting to the possibility of 3 more.
Okay. I'll second it.
Okay.
Well, I'm not making a motion, but I mean,
Bill can amend his motion.
that's what the original motion was for, is go and get one right now. 'cause
And I
needed
think that
real
was
bad.
seconded.
With a second. Any more discussion
So vote
on that?
or so discussion or vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No? Then we'll discuss further the three more.
Okay, so we'll,
Funding.
James will
Okay.
get the, we'll get the quotes. We have two, so we may just have to go with the two, send that to the board, because I'm not gonna wait a whole week for somebody to send me another quote.
Yeah.
And then we'll go ahead and just, if James liked the product, we'll go ahead and get that.
I did talk to the guy for the third quote yesterday, and he's supposed to get it to me hopefully today.
Okay, okay, then we'll just go ahead and make that purchase. That way we'll have that on the way here.
All right, next.
One other thing, do you have any idea how long it takes to train somebody to operate this
It doesn't,
piece of
it's
equipment?
a couple hours. It's really,
Put it up there and mash
it's not that
the
hard to
button.
do.
And what's your delivery time on the item?
Like I said, I don't know. I have to
That's
check
why
with
we
them
need
and
to
see
expedite it, yeah.
the shipping, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
If they have them in stock, I don't think it would be very long.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna proceed with this and then explore the
more.
possibilities of three more. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, I have hired 2 part-time EMTs. They're currently, one is in orientation and one should be starting their core orientation soon. I have offered have a conditional offer out to a full-time paramedic, and I'm awaiting the health screening results. Then we can get them get her in orientation. And after that's going to leave me needing one more paramedic to be fully staffed.
James, just on that note, are you finding that it's easier in the employment discussions now that we're doing the transition, that they can see the light at the end of the tunnel with pay and everything else? Is that helping?
It is, and my next thing here is also what's helped, I think, is where
Right.
she came from, honestly, is I sat down, I met with Gulf Coast State College, and we talked about offering their EMT and paramedic students clinical rotations here in Franklin.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal.
We went ahead and drafted a MOU, presented it to Attorney Schuler. He signed off. He after requested a couple amendments be made to it, which we did. Sent it back to him. He approved it. Sent it to Mr. Walker. He signed off on it. The college has signed off on it. So it's essentially it's active right now.
Great.
And after I sat down and talked to the lady from Gulf Coast, actually the two women, the next day I got the employment application for this paramedic, so
Wow.
this full-time
Okay.
medic. So
we would be a clinical site for EMS paramedics.
yes.
That'd be awesome.
And I also, on behalf of Mr. Walker, I asked them about the possibility of their radiology tech students over there. Well, they do have a program. Seeing if their students can potentially do clinicals at Weems Hospital.
You
So-
can never have too many clinical sites. I like it.
So that I'm waiting on a response from her to see what she says. So she's supposed to get in contact with the instructor for the radiology, and then as soon as I know, I'll get with Mr. Walker and y'all can hash that out.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So this is great. You know, and I told James, part of the recruitment strategy is to tell the prospective applicants, get on now, because once April comes, or before that, it's going to be hard to get on. So, you want to get on now, with us, get on early, because once April comes, we'll be probably fully staffed, and it'd be kind of like a little waiting list to get on.
I think it's definitely going to help in recruiting.
Great,
This
fantastic.
college thing. Just to everybody listening at home, we have a blood drive tomorrow out at Emergency Management. It's being hosted by Emergency Management and Franklin EMS. Please come out and give the gift of life. Blood is always in short supply. That's going to run from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock tomorrow. And last but not least, overtime was down this month from last month, from $22,995 last month to $15,552 this month.
All right.
That
Good.
being said, these additional hires, that's going to help.
Further drop that down.
Further drop
Sure.
it.
Great.
Look
I
at
just
you,
want to
James.
go ahead. I just want to say this about James. James been on the job December.
End of November.
End of November will be a year.
Wow.
And since he's been as the EMS director, really, he's doing a lot with operations, but he's really focusing on the financial piece of it. Really, I mean, his productivity logs, he watched that like a hawk now, over time. And so I think, he's doing a wonderful job, really. And then we've always had good relationships in the community, with Louis, really, and with Randall. But what James is doing in the community, really just continue to foster those relationships, especially with EOC, Gulf Coast, which is very important, and then the local high school also here. He's working with that, and he does a lot of community stuff. So he's doing a great job, really. And I'm very excited about, his focus on the financial piece of EMS.
Great.
Now,
great.
one more thing on that note, because of this Gulf Coast and having EMTs and medics coming in, I have moved my office out to emergency management, where, I mean, honestly, we work neck to neck, hand in hand, so
Yeah.
it's a good place for me to be.
Okay.
I think want to open up my office here at the hospital for a bedroom, so we can have the students be able to stay at Appalachia and East Point. So
Great.
You do good work,
Don't pump
James.
him up too much, because somebody will come hire him.
I want to go back on one.
yes, sir.
I'm still on these jaws of life. I want to make sure everybody's clear with this. Dr. Conrad, 20-plus years experience in emergency rooms, correct? You're getting pretty old anyway. How important is it for every one of them ambulances to have some kind of jaws of life on them, in your opinion? Come up here. Let's get this. I want to make it clear on this.
Just as a general statement, I'm for every ambulance having whatever capability they can properly have without it degrading their mission. So, yeah, would it be optimum for them to have that if it didn't interfere with whatever else they've got to pack in, give them an extra capability? Yeah, I'm all for it. I've never personally used it. I've only gotten after action where they brought in, hey, we had to draw somebody out of a car, but yeah, if they could all have them, I think that'd be great.
That 10, 15 minutes waiting for them to get there is a critical time.
Well, they talk about the golden hour in trauma, and that's exactly right, because if
Exactly.
somebody's got internal bleeding, other injuries, the quicker you get them out, the quicker you can start assessing.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah, it's time element.
Anything else? Well, the helicopter, we're still working with them. I haven't heard any updates about them coming out here, anything yet, so.
Yeah, and I can give, on my report, with James, while you up there, on my report, I got the Air Methods agreement, for them to be exclusive provider for us. There's some language in the agreement, that Turner Schuler has to work out with the legal team for Air Methods, and once that is worked out, I'll bring it back to the board, but seem like things are moving on, but we just got to have,
It's gonna happen.
yeah,
It's
one
gonna
language
happen.
issue, yeah.
We're flying the wings off of them. I
Oh,
ain't
it's
gonna
gonna
lie.
happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's
Or
happening.
flying the rotors off of them, more likely.
Because if Air Methods come into county, I think it'll be better for us and it'll be better for them. They can really touch more areas. Right now, they're in the Wakulla area, but they really can touch more county areas here in Franklin County. With Gulf, Liberty, and Franklin County, they really can touch.
Do we know what perks that are being offered to them as far as housing at the airport?
I have only heard, I don't know for a fact, I've heard hearsay that they're being offered like a 3-year, no rent.
Maybe we ought to have Steve come do a presentation of what they're planning on.
Yeah, we can do that. Steve will be, I'm sure, probably at the next meeting, I can see if he can come. Of course, we'll see him next weekend, really, at the air show. Yeah.
Okay,
You did good work, James.
Thank you, James.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
really.
Thank you.
next item is the, let's see, RAC update. Ms. Bushrick. Susie? Well, my wife's name's Susie. I won't just call you Susie. I'm used to that.
Good morning, Susie.
I just have a few quick little things. Heather and I have been working with our computer system, Athena, that is not with the hospital, and what we're doing is we're updating the codings for the providers, all the new codes that would come out so that we can streamline our billing a little bit better, so that we're more efficient with the coding to get better payback from the insurance companies, which we know they're not paying us right now. to the best that we can get. So we're working with that. We'll be loading in what's called a fee schedule, which is the list of our prices in the background of the computer system. And those will have a few changes to meet up to standards with the other facilities in the area. One of those things that you might get calls on is we're increasing the outside venipuncture fee to $20 from $15. It's been at $15 for many years, but with the cost of supplies going up and the lab's not covering all of the supplies any longer, we're just trying to meet that need. So that'll just be a slight change in case anyone mentions it to you. It's the way to do business to better cover it, so we're not stuck with everything. And with that, it's been long enough that we've implemented the no-show notice to patients, so we'll also be charging patients for their no-shows. That will extremely help us to better schedule patients, because we'll schedule out, we'll book out a full day, and then you have so many no-shows. It looks like the providers don't have a full schedule, but they do. They fill up their schedule the best that we can, and we do walk-ins all day, every day, so.
What is that, 48, is it gonna be 48 hours, 72 hours on the,
I believe I put 48. Yeah.
48?
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Doctor I go to.
It's pretty fair, and it's needed, because it's just,
You can't schedule.
being this small of a area, our days get filled up pretty easily there. So that'll be a big help for us. We had a physician reach out to us. We just started the talk with her, and she's interested in us. She came out to us based on our marketing. So hopefully we can get some positive feedback from that. And then just to let everybody know, at the week of Christmas is typically a very, very slow week for the clinics. And the providers have both requested vacation during that time. So what we've done to try to use the best of that time, having downtime, we'll still have staff available for phone calls and for messages. However, we will be using that time to do some renovations to both clinics, so it won't interrupt during the rest of the time during the year. So that'll be a good time for that. So just so we'll give everybody ample notice that there'll be closures during that week. And then we'll be doing the renovations, so it's not interfering with patient care or anyone has any allergies to paint or trim work or anything that we do. So, any questions?
Ms. Susie, do we currently do telehealth for our clinics?
No, we don't do telehealth. We are looking into that. So before I present anything to you all, I want to make sure that we have everything in place.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just thinking that might cut down on some of the no-shows if people can telehealth from their house.
Well, mostly
Possibly.
yeah, in my experience, no.
Okay.
I mean, I think the telehealth for the providers to be able to call patients back and accurately bill for their time,
Yes, ma'am.
that would help. But the other portion of the telehealth services, we're looking into specialty telehealth.
I'm just
But
thinking
I'd
about
rather
the people that
present that
don't
when
have
we have it all.
transportation.
Yeah, so. Anything else?
How about your
Crickets,
staffing? Are
crickets
you
going.
staffed up pretty well? Your staffing is,
Yeah, we're at the right amount of staff that we
okay,
have.
I mean,
yeah.
no
Mhm.
vacancies or anything. Good.
Yeah, because we've cross-trained everybody on our staff, so whenever anyone's out, either I'll fill in or somebody else from the team fills in for another position. So everybody's pretty much cross-trained
Okay.
across the board.
Now, but just since Susie's up there, the telehealth specialty care, we've talked to 2 vendors, that we're looking at different specialty care services to bring into the clinics, and we'll continue to review that. But while she's up there on my report, and we was going to discuss it a little later, but we have the 2 things. We have the East Clinic retail pharmacy discussion and direction. And what I'm saying is that, remember, 2022, Blue and Company did a pro forma, on the Carabel retail pharmacy.
Who is that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Blue and Company.
Okay,
Yeah,
Blue and
the pharmacy individuals. Matter of fact, the guy that spoke to us I think at the last board meeting, about 340B, Jason, his
Yes.
group, they came down and did a pro forma. So, we need some direction. Is it a time, now to really look in bringing that retail pharmacy into fruition in the Carabel location? Initially, the startup cost back then, we probably would have need $250,000 to get it started, that first year. But we can have David Bowling reach out to Blue and Company, to refresh that performer, and bring it back to the board. And if this is something where the board want us to move into, after you review that performer, we can go ahead and move into it. And the reason why I'm saying it now, because, at one time, what really stopped us at one time is because, we were working on the mammo area. At first, we wanted to get the mammo machine good. And then we looked at, should Weems be a REH, a rural emergency hospital, or stay as a critical access hospital? If Weems stay as a critical access hospital,
We keep the 340B.
you have 340B, then you can do the pharmacy. If Weems move into a REH model,
We lose it.
rural emergency hospital, you'll lose that 340B, then you really won't be able to do the pharmacy then, because 340B allow you to buy the drugs at a discounted price for the pharmacy. We can get the performer, as a refreshed performer, to you all, then at the next board meeting, we can discuss it and say, okay, this is something we need to do, then we can go to the county commission and say, the hospital board has recommended us to move forward with this project, knowing that the REH decision may be still out there for us. So it's
Well,
just,
the thing is, it's gonna have to be a yea or nay from the commission on, we don't need to do all this, then they go to, we gotta keep the 340B program.
yeah,
So,
I mean, that's the only way you're gonna be able to do the
that's gonna be
pharmacy.
it. I mean, what about it?
Well, when we make the proposal to the Board of County Commissioners, I think we say contingent upon the fact that you're going to leave this as a critical access, right?
This is
I mean, that's
Right.
bottom
Yes.
line.
Yeah.
Here's what we think we can do, here's the revenues we think we can generate, here's the initial upfront costs, and now, the only reason we're going to go forward with this, if you confirm that we're going to remain a rural, critical access hospital, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we present it.
Yeah, and that's the only way you can do it. Other than that, you really won't be able to do it unless years later, they bring the,
Well, we don't know what
I
they're
know
gonna
they-
do years
if they bring
later.
340B into the
That's
REH.
No need to even
yeah, but I'm just
think
saying,
about
that's,
that. We need to have to think
Yeah.
about right now.
We've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, putting a pharmacy in Carabel.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they need it desperately. They have
We're
nothing
ready-
over
we're ready
there.
to
They
do it.
really
Yeah.
need
And it's a
I
good
think we
idea,
should
but
stop dropping the ball, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just feel like we only meet once a month, and we have a lot to cover for the one meeting that we get once a month. But this is something we should stay on top of, because they desperately need a pharmacy in Carabel.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. And the problem is that the can keeps getting kicked down the road
Correct,
because
I agree.
we don't get any direction from
That's right.
above.
I agree.
That's part of it. And Susie, just want to go back to that telehealth question you had before. David mentioned, you mentioned you were looking at specialties. Would mental health be one of those specialties you would think of bringing in for, I mean, that works very well with telehealth.
Right, well, we're looking at, because there's a cost associated with everything, right? So
Right.
each specialty has a cost associated with it, plus the type of specialist. Most of the specialists that we're looking at, they're not located in Florida, so you have to do special credentialing and licensure, so there's a process, and that's why we didn't bring it up front with a
Right.
package to you yet till we get all our details correct, so.
Okay, no, I appreciate it, thank you.
No,
Okay.
you definitely need the mental health.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Hang on, Susie.
And then also, we're going to be bringing in a specialty, so you understand, one of the specialties that could also drive ancillary services to the hospital. So something like infusion or radiology, that's part of what will help us with the costs of
Right.
maintaining a specialist, so.
Okay, so, the board's in agreement, let's get in that updated, financial plan, I still call it financial plan, and a business model, whatever you wanna call it. And then let's look at that, and board, let's do something next meeting, if it looks good.
Yeah.
Now, what stopped us one time before is we didn't have the money in the hospital. We need to look and see if we've got the money, because, we couldn't get the money out of the capital. But
No,
you know,
capital,
we couldn't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that. It's gonna have to come from us, and
Yeah.
probably what, 250,000?
Yeah, it was 250.
Within 3 years.
That was the
Let's
startup,
wait till
right?
we get-
Yeah.
Let's wait till we get the new numbers and look at them.
Yeah.
Is that okay with the board?
Absolutely.
And let's get ready to move one way or the other. And
I agree.
If the commissioners, still don't know, I suggest we drop it, do with it. If we need to find out one way or the other, and if we're gonna go to the REH model or still, but we gotta get a firm buy-in before we do all this, because we do all this, spend all this money, renovations, whatever, try to hire some people, then we go to the REH model, then that's gone. So that's what we basically, did I say that correctly? I mean, you know, we gotta get
Yeah.
it one way or the other.
Yeah,
That's it.
either way, you know, if you're REH, you can't do it. If you critical access hospital, you can do it.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
we got, well, and that's it.
As a side question, if you don't mind, what have we done to inquire of the county commission passing on to their legislative lobbyist, both on the state and federal level, our desire to get the 340B program and the swing bed program into the REH model? What have we done with our lobbyists?
Well, we don't have any lobbyists, so we
Yes,
had.
we do.
Well, I guess the county
The
does.
county.
Yeah, well, we hadn't did anything with that, you know.
We ought to be
Yeah.
pressing them, because if the county's not going to put out any priorities, then why do you have that legislative
Yeah,
lobbying group? Here, we're part of the county, why aren't we pressing, hey, we'd like to see y'all be pushing this?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. That's a great idea, and I know that, you know, the county, I hadn't been pushing it with the county, but I know as a whole with the Florida Hospital Association, which I'm on the Rural Hospital Committee, we've been pushing it from there to the lobbying group, you know, on the federal level, you know, really. In the state level, you know, they're not pushing anything on the state level because state level don't care about it as much. But on
I
the
look
federal
at
level.
it, I look at it personally from a standpoint that if you plant the seed and start pushing it up, okay, that our lobbyists can do a lot with regard to both the state and with the federal government as being on the bandwagon to get those two programs, because we all know, and I don't have to go over it, but we have to have those two programs part of it to be financially feasible.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to Mike Morone and talk to him about it, since he's right back there. That'll be good.
Thank you.
Any questions? Good. Have a great seafood festival.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Miss Susie.
Thank you,
Thank
thank you. Okay, the next item, CFO report, Mr. Bowling.
Duff, you want to take a break? Because
Yeah, let's
it's
take a
about
quick
10
break.
o'clock.
Quick break.
We may be up for a while.
Mics are on, I guess. The next item is that we have Mr. Bowling, Alliant Management. Go ahead, David.
Oh, is the camera on?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it-
yeah.
It is on? Okay, thank you. Is there any way you could turn the air off? If you could just turn it off.
Are we back? We recording? Okay, we are recording.
Morone, are we good?
Call to order again for Mr. David Bowling, CFO, Alliant Management.
Mr. Morone, are we good?
He's CFO of the
Is it
hospital
live?
too, excuse me.
Okay. Well, included in the packet, I think on the agenda, David, we have a couple of items to discuss, but I'm going to talk first about the financial performance for the month of September, and the good news too is this is the end of our fiscal year, so I do have obviously the full 12 months in your packet. Now again, it's unaudited, and we also have with us Jason Bonner. He's sitting here behind me as well. Many of you have met Jason. Jason is acting as the CFO for the organization, and I know he's helping the team locally, and they're doing a great job. One of the things I do want to comment about as well is Carr Riggs and Ingram, the audit firm, has started the fiscal year 25 audit, so that process is in place and things are moving right along with that as well. And as soon as Brian Hall, who's the lead partner with Carr Riggs, as soon as he completes the audit, obviously he'll come in front of the county as well as the hospital board and present those results. But in your packet, as I mentioned, you do have the September month and year-end results. For the full 12 months of this fiscal year to date, or fiscal year, our consolidated net income did finish at a positive $135,000. That's as compared to a budgeted loss of $466. So a good, performance from an audited version of for the organization. I do want to talk specifically though about some key drivers that impacted September. When we look at gross patient revenues for September, again, gross patients, what we charge for the services that are being provided. We did finish just under 55,000 or 3% versus what was budgeted. Inside our gross patient revenue, when you look at inpatient revenues, we were up about 191,000 in our inpatient revenues, and that was largely driven and primarily driven by our swing bed activity. We had a really positive, really great month in our swing bed performance within the hospital, and you can see that within the days that were reported within the statistics. The hospital's overall average daily census, when you look at swing bed, inpatient, and observation-related patients, our overall average daily census finished at 2.5, which was strongly up versus a budget of 1.8. So that's saying we have grown, or did for the month of September at least, grow the inpatient, swing, and OBS activities within the organization. Outpatient revenues, though, were down approximately $207,000. Again, this is versus budget. Recorded within outpatient, as I mentioned, each month to the board is ER activity, and our ER visits were down 49 or 11% versus budget. But looking at that year over year, we were actually up 73 or 22% versus this same month in the prior year. Our ER visits did finish the month of September just under 400, right at 399 actually, which is consistent though with the trailing 12 months of the run rate here at the hospital. We have been averaging around 401, finished at 399, so we're right on the mark of how we've been performing throughout the past 12 months. With that lesser ER activity, certainly, again, lesser ER activity versus budget, we have seen lesser, imaging exams or radiology-related x-rays and so forth and CTs as a result of those lesser ER visits, lesser labs, lesser pharmaceuticals as well. So again, these are, when I say lesser, I'm saying lesser versus what was budgeted though. The Rural Health Clinic, as Susie mentioned earlier too, but we did finish from a performance standpoint below budget by 32,000, with our clinic visits finishing at 470 visits. Now that was slightly down versus our trailing 12-month run rate within our clinics, but I think when you look at the overall indicators that we have, the overall financial indicators from a 12-month snapshot, we are up and still continue to outperform prior year activity within the clinics. James mentioned EMS, but EMS revenues from a standpoint of the month were down 8,000, or primarily, if you want to look at it, flat versus the same period in the prior year from a billable run standpoint. How does this, revenue obviously translate into what we expect to collect or, bill for and receive in collections? Our net patient revenue did finish down 124,000 or 15% versus budget. But I wanted to mention, and I think this is placed in the notes as well. We did conservatively increase the LIP liability based on a recent demand letter from the state. And again, as we're all aware, the LIP and DISH goes through a process of surveys and audits and so forth, and there are due to FROMs related to that program. Typically, it is a payback of some monies to that. So we did record and increase that liability based on a recent demand letter, and we're currently working with the state and on payback plans for previous activity that's already on the balance sheet. Moving into the expenditures, the total hospital operating expenses were up $239,000, or roughly 22% versus budget. Personnel costs obviously is our largest spend within the organization. That does include our salaries, wages, benefits, as well as any premium contract related labor. Those categories were all combined up $24,000. I know management and Courtney and David and Jason and the entire team, focus, on productivity management. They do have a labor productivity tools. They do monitor and review as well, and so I know a lot of eyes are on monitoring our labor spend. Other expenses, though, you will see this, and this, quite frankly, is the largest driver behind that increase in overall operating expenses. And you'll see it categorized on the income statement as other, but it does include in excess of $200,000 versus our budget, and what is categorized inside of that and recorded there. We did receive the insurance premium from the county, and at the suggestion of the auditor, as well as in other discussions we had, we did record that entire premium in this month's period. And we did just receive that, and when I say record it in this month's period, the reason why it was recorded this month is because it is and was applicable for the entire fiscal year. So just receiving it this month, recording the full amount this month, but it was applicable for the entire fiscal year. That was about $160,000, or right at around $159,000 for that new policy. That was recorded this month.
Is it a past payment?
It's for the past fiscal period.
Fiscal period, okay.
Yeah, it's the timing of receiving the actual.
So what are we doing to fix that in this new year?
Sure. So to fix that in the coming year, we're going to look at accrual and accruing for what would be anticipated receiving based on what we just received for this period.
And
so
that's just to smooth out the revenue.
One-time hits.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
or one-time impacts. That's correct.
But David, aren't we also going to have additional impact on the medical malpractice insurance that we're picking up too?
That is correct as well. Yes. Okay. But obviously with that, what you could say one-time impact related to recording that full period in 1 month, September's month end alone did finish at a consolidated net loss of $282,000 on a budgeted net loss of $78,000, so missing budget by $204,000. I just stated, the one-time impact of recording that full premium in 1 month was the main contributor behind that loss. Just moving over to the balance sheet cash flow, just to make.
One question too was on the. I probably asked this before, but I'll ask it again. Other non-operating revenues. It looks like we picked up about $2 million. Other non-operating revenue. What is that?
Bill, it's probably under non-operating. Obviously, it's where we have cash related from the the taxes related from the county and the county distributions and so forth.
Right, because,
You know,
well, you see, it's broken out between sales tax, ad valorem, 340B, but there's also a column right on the top, other non-operating revenue. And it looks like,
And there may be some grant dollars.
Yeah,
That's
it's
plus
grants.
about-
Yeah,
Probably some
I don't
grant
have it.
dollars in there.
It's grant, yeah, I don't have it. I was gonna pull it up here, Bill, real quick on the, my screen locked. But yeah, all grant activity, when we take that into income, once those expenditures and so forth are, and the obligations of the grants are met, it's removed from the balance sheet and taken fully into income. That would be reflected in non-operating as well.
And so as we look at this also, like the current year-to-date, numbers are plus 135, right?
Yes,
For the-
sir.
Yeah, so these are unaudited numbers, for this last fiscal year, we ended up positive 135,000 plus dollars. Now, the auditor would come back and put the audited numbers in there, but these like unaudited year-to-date numbers as a positive for the hospital. Yeah, so we hope it don't change too much now. But Brian, he'll dig in all
Yeah,
that.
Bill, I got it up on my side now. I can see it. Yeah, certainly in that other non-operating category alone, and you see under non-operating in total, and as you called it out, I mean, you got 340B recorded there. We have our tax revenues and so forth recorded there. But in that other category alone is where we reflect the grant activity. And as those grant obligations are met, like I said before, it gets taken from the balance sheet and recorded into income.
well, it looks like we did pretty well on that, 1.8,
That's correct. What we
which
have
is
received.
what helped us get down to the bottom line of 135.
It does help. But you got to recall, you do have some of the expenditures that you have, that are put into, that are being utilized, right, related to those grants as well, reflected. So it does help offset a lot of that activity.
Yeah.
And another way of saying that, Bill, is if we didn't have the grants related to an activity that had expenditures that went along with that. So if you didn't have the monies, you wouldn't have the expenditure on it as well. Because it kind of washes itself out, in essence. Just a few, as I said, on balance sheet cash flow related activities. Our overall cash position, you can see that on the balance sheet. Overall cash position continues to trend. It's in a positive position. The hospital's days cash on hand did finish at approximately 60 days. You'll see the trend within your indicators. But we did finish the month of September, or the period of September, at approximately 60 days cash on hand. Patient AR obviously continues to be a strong focus within the organization. We have seen improvement. Susie even mentioned, Athena. Athena's the platform utilized in the clinics. They're addressing opportunities within the clinics to look at ways to improve there as well. But overall, again, our AR days did finish September at 67, but is significantly down versus our trailing 12-month run rate within patient AR. Those days were on a trailing 12-month run rate around 80. So it did finish the period of September down pretty significantly compared to that run rate. I point this out and state this nearly every month, but again, just to try to put some clarity around the balance sheet. There are some big numbers on other current assets. Again, it does include the monies associated with the state dish and LIP receivables. Talked about that earlier. There's obviously an ongoing process there where those are being audited, and payback arrangements and what have you are occurring with the state. So we're working through a lot of those outstanding state dish and LIP monies. We do continue to manage our AP very well within the organization. I do think the addition of the Finance Committee and the committee meeting at least twice a month to review the vendor logs and the payments that go out to vendors, I do think that's been a very successful process, and I think it's helped having a lot of visibility as to what the organization is spending money on. So I think that's, I want to commend the board members who participate in that, and that's very helpful to us. But from an overall vendor standpoint, what is outstanding in AP related to payments to vendors, it's about $550,000 this month. Again, there's no, it's a big number, sounds like a big number, it is a big number, but from a management standpoint, you know, our AP process is okay. There's no vendors at risk. That is a very manageable, I guess what I would say, number for the organization. Also, I mentioned those grants, or not grants, but the dish lip monies. We do have, you know, paybacks, you know, listed as liabilities as well, and you'll see those numbers. I know that, again, like I said before, that gets very confusing. I do think the audit firm, when they put their disclosures and explanations around that, they do a very good job helping to describe that, what's included with those dish and lip monies. But our other current liabilities does also include our rural capital improvement grants. So kind of to Bill's point earlier about monies getting taken into income, it sits on the balance sheet as a liability because if we don't meet the obligations of the grants, we would owe the money back. Mm-hmm. Once we meet the obligations of the grants, we remove it out of liability and we're able to take that into income. So it's an accounting transaction that takes place, but that is reflected in your liabilities. And certainly the capital spend here continues to be minimal, mission critical needs as brought forward by James and others as we look to make any capital commitments or purchases going forward. Just real briefly and quickly too, to wrap up on EMS, I know James was up here, mentioned it. You know, he's done a fantastic job. You know, for their 12-month period as well, their gross patient revenue did finish above budget, $55,000 or roughly 3%. Again, that's what they charge for the services that they're providing. Their total operating expenses, though, did finish above budget, $85,000 or roughly 4%. Again, James has talked about this, and we've talked about this all a lot. You know, the operating expenses is related to wages. That is the driver behind that increase. Overtime hours, yes, we're up year over year. I think we're all well aware of that, but I thought it was pretty encouraging, as James mentioned earlier, overtime hours month over month, though, have been down. So again, he's looking to help put better, you know, there's a lot of discipline, a lot of eyes in that area as well, and they're helping control costs where they possibly can, but that number still is up. That's all I had on the finances, unless there's any questions I can help address.
I have just a question. It has nothing to do with this. It has to do with favored nation pricing. Are we making sure that, like the claws, short, yeah. Are we making sure that when we go out to vendors that we get favored nation pricing? And I bring it up again because it's now become a big thing on the national scene to make sure that our country is getting favored nation pricing, and we've had favored nation pricing. It's modeled after Florida's law. We've had that for years, so I want to make sure we don't drop the ball on that. Mm-hmm. Equal to or lower than.
Very good. Yeah, we're definitely keep asking the questions. I mean, we got our supply chain group that you know, monitors our supply spend. That question has been asked to them. They have stated we do receive the lowest pricing on the Jaws of Life equipment. I was telling James at the break that I did reach out to our team there as well and asked the question about, you know, any other suppliers, anybody that he may not have received quotes from. But the ask was really about bulk pricing and bulk buying, because, yeah, while we need 4, there may be many other spots across the United States that needs 4. And are they looking collectively to buy 30 across all those various parties? Can we buy 30? Mm-hmm. Can we add our 4 into that? And that whole price keeps going to go down. Mm-hmm. But the response to your question is we have asked to ensure, are we getting the lowest price? And the statement is, yes, we're getting the lowest price. Now, I think it's all subject to,
As a follow-up to that question, but on an entirely different subject, you talk about the audit starting. What's the relationship of the foundation's finances compared to that of Weems? Do our auditors look at that or not?
but he would question, would he receive anything from the foundation's books?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he'll look at
It would be part of, I would imagine that it's part of.
Yeah, he would look at
that
the
same
accounts.
And
discussion.
it may not be material,
Yeah.
the other side of it.
Well, Bill
Exactly,
may
it's a
answer this,
separate
but-
report.
Yeah, I mean, the foundation, we always get a request from the auditors to look at the balance on the checking account of the foundation, and that's added into part of the
It's part of the request.
report.
Yeah, part of the request. If there's not a separate audit on it, I don't believe.
No, absolutely
Bill,
not.
at all. But
I
there
mean,
would
when
be
you're talking
there would
about-
be a review of the cash.
It's too
accounts.
small
Yeah.
to really require that.
Do they, when you say the cash balance, do they look at any checks or anything like that? Or do they just have one number?
I can follow up with the firm to see what they test.
Okay.
But they do inquire, as Bill mentioned. I'm
They
not sure what they
inquire, yeah.
test.
I mean,
Yeah.
the resting balance on that account is about $6,000. It goes up because now we're in, collecting money for the event. And then the event, obviously, we got to pay the expenses on the event. And then whatever's left over, we held $6,000 from last year. So maybe there's a little bit more in the account now, but, I mean, that's the kind of numbers we're talking about here.
It's immaterial, basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
compared to what we're paying.
Right now, it's more of a goodwill, and you never know, we get.
But they do all, but Brian Hall does
That's the whole
request,
thing.
Brian Hall, the auditors does request that information, and we can, and David Bowling would check, Jason would check with
Yeah.
Brian also,
See what he tests.
see what else is.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. But that's all I have for the September and September year-end results. Again, we're excited the audit's getting started. We hope, and as we have seen year after year after year, continued improvement in the financial performance of the organization, continued improvement within the controls within the hospital from that standpoint. So we're excited to see it get started.
Yeah, and and the auditors, they were here on site, Monday through Wednesday of this week, and they'll be back, but they have a lot of information that they've been reviewing off site, and Jason been leading the charge with that as well, so.
Thank you.
So I do have another item, and I guess we want to move
Yeah,
into
go
that
ahead
now.
and discuss this, let's talk about it.
Okay. I'm going to pull this up.
Good. Everybody got this sheet here, it's, should be in your packet.
Where's that?
What is it?
It's the, RVU, APRN for the productivity bonus. So it should.
Yeah.
Where's it at, David? I don't
Yeah,
know.
there should be a separate handout. I think Melanie may have put those in all the
Is it
packets.
in here? I don't know where it
Here.
would be.
I guess down here. Is this the radiology services?
Okay.
Is it after the financial report? Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's okay. That's all right.
Okay, it's,
No biggie. It's gonna be at the back of this packet.
okay.
Okay. This packet.
Thank you, the back of the packet.
I think that's it,
That
right?
is it.
Thank you.
Board
I
action, here we
just don't know
go.
what it means.
I'm gonna take yours.
David, everybody have a copy? Okay. So what we'd like to, share with the board and what's in front of the board, we did have some discussions. And one of the things too within the clinics, and I know Susie didn't mention this, and I'll mention this at a later, more than likely next month, and give a report out on the optimization project that took place within the clinics. But one of the items that we want to bring forward to the board at this time is we have reviewed and looked at the providers' compensation structures within the clinics, and as a background, you have that in front of you. Of course, Dana and Suzette both are APRNs, advanced practice registered nurses, and have been, leading those clinics for a number of years here within the hospital and their respective areas. And both of those providers in those clinics are employees of the hospital, so they are employed by Weems and paid through Weems. And as I mentioned, their compensation structures were reviewed. And
Dave, I got a quick question.
yes, sir.
Are they on the contract or are they employees?
They're employees.
They're a contract. They're not a contract.
That's right,
Separate.
that's right.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
They're ours.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
And that's a great question. That's why I made that some. They are employees of the hospital, paid
Okay, good.
by the hospital.
Good.
And one of the, and within the healthcare industry, and Kristen has mentioned this, as well in discussions with her and even her background and level as well. A common healthcare industry compensation structure for clinic providers is basically a model where they have a base compensation or a base salary, and in addition to that base salary, they have an opportunity to earn for the high quality care that they're providing. They have an opportunity to earn an incentive bonus related to the production and I say production, but it's the number of patients and so forth that they are seeing within their clinics. And again, it's measurable against a threshold. So you have in front of you an analysis that we looked at, that when we looked at the providers' compensation, those two providers, and we compared their compensation versus industry benchmarks, and to have measurable and comparable data. And I put a snippet in this board action item that identifies and discusses those industry benchmarks. And when you look at the compensation benchmarks and the WRVU, which is worked RVU, which means relative value units, and again, it's a measurable that is industry-wide related to the work that's being performed within the clinics or within the practice. And you'll see from a compensation standpoint, we have access to data, and you'll see two names there, MGMA and Solomon Cotter. Those are national data sets that target specific geographic areas related to all specialties and all medical related care. So those are very common companies that collect data related to provider and physician related compensation. And we pulled that specifically for the nurse practitioner specialty in primary care in the southern market. So again, narrowed that down to where we're in the right geography and obviously the right provider specialty. And you'll see the compensation broken into 25th median, 75th, and 90th percentile. And this is a ranking of those providers and on average where they are compensated. And then same methodology was used for the worked RVU, again, worked relative value unit benchmarks as well. So that was reviewed, and then we obviously looked at our providers to see, okay, where do they fall within the comp? Where do they fall within the worked RVU benchmarks? And one of the things we wanted to ensure is the current compensation and the percentile ranking of that provider, does it align with the work that's being performed within that clinic as well? And I can assure you, actually, it does for both providers. The work that's being performed aligns with the base compensation related to those two individual providers. The statement's in here, but obviously the hospital strongly values and supports our providers, and I know the board does as well. And we want to make sure that they have been very committed, obviously, to this community and the communities that they're serving, and the hospital wants to echo that commitment to them as well, and more align them from a compensation structure and design to fit what's currently out there in the industry. And again, within the industry, we are seeing base models where they're paid a base comp plus an incentive productivity add-on. So with that, I do, and I have looked at the financial impact, and you'll see this in your board action item. And again, this is based upon the two providers and their actual productivity. So when I say productivity, again, the work they provided over this past year, and looked at that again versus those benchmarks. I looked at it to make sure it aligns within the benchmarks for compensation as well. And when you calculate that recommended per RVU amount that would have exceeded that threshold, and again, based on previous annual numbers we have, that would have been collectively around a 15 to 17,000 collectively outlay for those providers for the entire year. So with that and with this background and analysis that we did pull together, I mean, it is our recommendation and ask that, and you'll see the verbiage in the board action item, but we would ask, in addition to these two providers' base compensation, we would like to extend an option for them to earn an incentive related to the production, again, the visits, the activity that they're seeing within their clinics that exceed a certain threshold. And that threshold, we want to make sure that threshold aligns with the base comp that they're being provided today, and that analysis has been prepared. So our ask is that we would want to extend, again, an incentive opportunity for them to earn additional compensation once it exceeds an agreed upon threshold.
Mr. Bowling, would those bonuses be split up quarterly?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. That would be the recommendation, is to do that quarterly. I have seen organizations do it annually, but I would recommend quarterly just to kind of continue to keep monitoring.
And this is a common practice, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
That's what I want to add. This is something common that is being used, and we come to the party late, and we're very blessed that our providers are still with us, to be honest with you, because hospitals around us, clinics around us, that's what they do, really. And we just hadn't been doing it. We talked about looking at a structure, initially, maybe a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. But really, a lot of our clinics around us, hospitals, organizations, that's what they do. And we're just coming to the ball game late on this area. But we're very fortunate that our providers have been with us for a long time.
It's time to do something.
And they're really investing in the community.
That's right.
And this is something also when we look at physician hire, bringing a physician in, most of them is used to this model as well. So this is something that we'll probably have to look at for physician models as well, because that's, like I said, it's common practice. A lot of our hospitals, sisters hospitals, are already doing it, and we've just been truly blessed that our providers, live in our community and want to stay working in our
They're
clinics.
invested in us, we should invest in them.
100%.
Both of our providers, full-time providers, have a very loyal patients that come to them,
Yes, they do.
including me and my wife, And the more we pay in bonuses, the more money we're gonna make too, because they're doing tests, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're getting the collections there. So it's a smart action, in my opinion. I don't think we need to wait much on it. And this is about in line with other hospitals in Alliance.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a very common.
You said
Are the
Cal
providers,
Fisher,
are the providers
Yeah.
relatively,
typically.
are they happy with it?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Are the providers,
Are they
pleased
aware,
with
Miss
it?
Susie?
Yeah.
but I'm talking about the ones you presently have.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
pleased
Again,
with it?
yeah, it's a very common compensation
Okay.
structure, to do a base plus a incentive add-on. And the ones that we work with and I know they're obviously very happy and very encouraged, right, to be able to earn additional.
We'd be looking to move forward with this after our fiscal year's over.
That's
So we're
right.
looking to move this into this current
That's correct.
ongoing fiscal year end.
Yes,
And
yes,
I don't know,
indeed.
where do our providers fall within this percentile?
They're in
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
25
Well,
median?
our providers,
Or within the
again,
25%?
Yes, sir.
yeah, we're within 25th and median. Yeah.
No, we may be a little higher than that. I think well, yeah, maybe 25th to medium. I'm thinking, I don't want to get into detail about it, but,
Right. Yeah.
but like I said, we're kind of late to the ball game.
Yeah.
Really, our providers have been invested in here. I can tell you that I'm sure they probably trying to get other people trying to recruit them like they always do. They
Yes.
offer these things to them, but they are here. But we're just late to the ball game, with this.
Okay,
That's all.
board, one thing that we're gonna have to do, this will be a change in policy, correct?
Excuse me.
Is this is a change in policy, right?
No, it's not really a change
It
in
would
policy.
just be initiated in their contract, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a change in policy.
No,
This
it's,
isn't in policy, it's just.
no, it's an agreement that we'll have with the
Well,
providers.
we're
That's
starting a
great.
new year, I think, I'd ask for a motion to go ahead with this.
Second.
Did somebody make a motion?
I do need the motion. You need to make the motion. I do want to commend you, David Bowling and Mr. Walker, because I've been a big proponent of this for a long, long time, and I know things take time. And I sat with one of our providers when I first got appointed to this position and asked her, what can I do to help you? And she told me, we're flipping a lot of patients, it's on our head. Bonuses would help, so I've hammered on it, and I really appreciate your hard work, both of you, for bringing it to fruition. I really
Okay,
do.
do I have a
Right.
motion?
Thank you.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? About time we did something about that.
Yeah, how'd we get away with it so long?
Because they like me.
That's it.
They love my personality, and
Susie just brought up a great
No,
point in
Susie,
the crowd. She
go,
said their
Susie.
dedication.
come on, come on.
Yeah, because they love their patients.
Susan, come to the mic, come to the mic.
Right,
come to the mic.
right, right.
Yeah, they both have families in this community. Dana grew up here. Suzette's family's from here. Her husband's family's from here. They've both been asked by several facilities to leave.
Sure.
a couple
I
of
agree.
times.
I
And they've
believe that.
stayed.
Yes, ma'am.
And they like me too. But no, they are, I can honestly say that both are very caring providers and our PRN as well. So I think we're lucky to have them, and I think it's about time the clinics get to spend some money.
They deserve it. Nobody better.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
deserve
They
it.
do.
yeah.
They're very good and caring, and I think they've kept a lot of people healthy in our communities.
Yes.
And they love
They're
what
very
they
thorough,
do.
I can tell you that right now.
And they love,
They're
and, they
I'm
love what
always
they,
well when I go get my physical, and then I walk out, I'm not well. Gee, I was doing
Something's wrong
perfect.
with you.
well, our staff, all of our staff, if you look at, people are dedicated to what they're doing here, and I think those two providers are dedicated. They're very invested in the community. They live here. And there's been a lot of soul searching probably with them because other people have offered them jobs, to be
Yes.
honest with you. But they stayed here with us. So, we're very thankful for that. And not only them, all of our employees.
I'm gonna say, you look around the room right here, you look at the people in here,
Yeah.
how many years, how many years, how many years, how many years have?
Yeah. You have a
We
lot.
have a wealth of management people here that are
Yeah.
loyal to the hospital.
They're loyal. I mean,
You can't beat that, I'm telling you.
Yeah, yesterday, just a quick interjection, we did our, what we did at 3:00, man, what's, employee recognition. And I went down the list of employees' years, and I'll call out a name of a lady that's been here 47 years. Ms. Jean Roberts have been here 47 years. Ms. Lily been here, how many, probably now about 50, I know it's over 50. Mary Brown, maybe 40-something years. Glenda Wilson. So we have a lot of employees that have really been here so many years. And in the month of November or December, we're going to really acknowledge those employees that have been here 25 years, maybe 20 years and more, because many have been here when we didn't have retirement. Think about that, 40-some years without any retirement. So we're going to do a special kind of something for those employees, 20 years and up, that have been here. But the people are investing in this hospital, the employees here. So we greatly benefit that.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Great.
You measure this, and it's an incentive. How is it paid? When I ask that question is it, when do you do it? End of the year, so you can go back and
I
look?
told you, Bowling.
No, and actually Kristen brought up a great point when she asked, what's the frequency? So we're going to set it up quarterly. And it's quarterly in arrears. So the threshold is based on the previous quarter work, and then they would earn based on that previous quarter's work, if that makes sense. So the activity and the patients and so forth, if it exceeds that threshold from the previous quarter, then they're comped on that.
So it's a sliding scale, basically?
Well, it is a moving,
Piece.
a moving threshold, yes. So, but again, the threshold's going to align with the comp within those percentile rankings of where that individual provider will, is currently at. So it's based on that current, the thresholds will be based on what their current production is and where they're currently ranked in alignment with their compensation.
So it should increase our gross income.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on production. I hate to say production, but that's the term it's used, but it's based on the number of patients and so forth and tests and
It's
treatment.
based on
provided.
fairness too. I
That's
mean, we've got people that are doing a good job.
That's right.
And it's, I know, this has been around 20 years. I know
Yeah, we just
several
lay
of my
it.
friends.
We just playing catch up.
Yeah, playing catch up.
I got some ARMPs, nurse practitioners. They'll tell you they're nurse practitioners, not ARMPs. But anyway, that they've been working on this for years, you know, so.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Oh, go ahead.
That's it.
Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Let's get it done. Just make sure we
Yes, sir.
sit them down, spend plenty of time and explain exactly how this works. Because if folks go in with confusion, then they're not gonna be happy with it. So
That's right.
that's real. Talk to them like you were talking to me, explaining something. Then you can explain it real well, okay? Thank you. That it?
Thank you, Mr. Bowling.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Subcommittee report.
Oh,
Me.
Bill, do your subcommittee report, finance.
All right, so we usually have 2 meetings so that we can get checks out twice a month. We had our finance committee on October 2nd and the second one October 16th. I was there for the 2nd, but I was not there for the 16th. During those meetings, we go over all of the checks and invoices and contracts and review them for approval for payment. And we did not find anything that, at least the meeting I was at. Whereas, were you at the second one?
I was at the second one.
You were at the second one?
Same,
All right,
no
so-
problems anywhere.
Okay, so everything went through smoothly, had no issues, nothing to report.
Okay.
Except for voided checks.
Yeah, but we've been looking at them.
Well, I thought that you came up with a solution, someone came up with a solution to get a printer, separate printer for them, locked down for them, for the payroll, so they put the checks on there, nobody else can override that.
Yeah, and I think the problem on the other one was somebody left the check blanks in the printer. So they printed over top of them, then we had to void a bunch of checks.
Yes.
So that was an issue.
Yeah, so
But
that-
yes,
yeah,
So a
so-
separate printer
Yeah.
would solve that issue if
Yeah.
we were gonna get that.
Right.
Yeah. Correct. Okay, thank
So
you.
put that on your
Yeah, but we have that.
to-do list.
But we have that to-do list. We're gonna order a separate printer for that, office.
It's also an internal control check over the checks themselves,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay?
let's do it then. Okay, the next item is the CEO report.
Okay, thank you all. I have an action item, and what I want to do is, here's my report here. Eagle Tree has reviewed the IT policies, and we are recommending approval to adopt the policies by the governing board pending review and discussion during the executive session today. My report should be in y'all should have my report here. Y'all found it? Melanie, can you- I may start putting my report to the side.
It would be in that big packet there somewhere.
Thank you.
How you like that?
I'll share it with you.
I shuffled them around, so. Here, was that, we're gonna share. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we're situated.
Okay, you ready? Okay.
All right.
All right, the first one is board action, IT policies. Eagle Tree has reviewed the IT policies, and we will recommend approval to adopt the policies by the governing board pending review and discussion during the executive session today. And so what I'm doing, I'm looking for a motion to approve them pending our discussion at the end of the board meeting today, so we can get these policies reviewed. So we're going to have an executive session today, IT executive session, and then we will review the number of policies that we want to approve. But I want you to go ahead and approve them now pending that review, you know, at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, that's confidential
Yeah.
information there. So,
Yeah.
so if we didn't agree with them, while we're discussing them, then
We just put them on
They'll come
hold.
back.
Yeah, the ones that we got problems with, just put them on hold.
I think that's gonna be the best way to do that, since these are confidential. Do I have a motion?
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead,
No,
John.
go ahead, John.
So we go through them in the executive session and we find changes and define them. If we approve up front, do we have to come back and do
No,
something
I
for
think
those changes?
we can approve up front, even including the
changes.
changes.
Yeah, pending changes.
Pending changes?
Pending
Approve with
changes.
Pending changes
Yeah.
on discussion in executive committee.
We can change them.
Yes.
Okay. That answers the question.
Because
We can
executive
do that.
session, you can't really vote on anything.
No.
So-
Right.
Yeah.
But these are confidential, so we're kind of a little bit of a.
So we can approve them pending
Pending,
discussion and
yeah,
changes. So if
discussion.
there's any changes, then at least they're approved, we can go make those
Have a
changes.
motion.
You know.
Are we just talking about the IT, or are we talking the radiology and?
No.
No. Right now, the IT.
Just the IT,
Just IT.
right? Okay.
Just IT. Have a motion.
Second.
Let's get a
I'll go,
motion.
I'll go with the
Somebody motion?
I'll go with the motion to
Any
to
more,
review.
any more, there's a second, any more discussion?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, well, got it.
Okay. Now, the new radiology vendor agreement needs to be approved by the county commission because it's over $50,000 per year. The agreement was sent out to the governing board members to review before being presented to the commission. Attorney Schuler has already reviewed it along with our radiology manager, David Bowling, and myself. Does anybody from the hospital board have any questions about the agreement? Because, you know, once it is okay with you all, we were presented to the county commission on November 19th for approval.
Okay, so this is to replace
Yeah.
the other radiology group that we had that we were unhappy with.
Correct.
So this is the new agreement with the new
Yes.
group.
Correct.
Okay, and they've been vetted.
Correct.
And
Yeah, we like them. They,
recommendations from
Dr.
other
Conrad,
places?
Court,
Okay.
yeah.
Dr.
So, okay.
Conrad, you happy with them?
Yeah.
You think?
You're-
Okay, good. All right.
Thumbs up from the back room.
Yeah, what we have,
We can have a motion to shoot it on to the commission.
correct.
Have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Next item.
Okay, multi-view agreement, is the same thing with Air Methods, multi-view agreement, there's some language that needs to be changed, with Attorney Schuler, with their legal team, so we need to set up a meeting for that. Once those changes have been approved, and then the multi-view agreement will be signed, and we'll bring them on board. Air Methods, the same things, I said it earlier, is some language that needs to be changed in that, you know, we reviewed it, but the attorneys have some sticking points on that, in that area. East Clinic Retail Pharmacy, we already talked about that. You know, before the board meeting, we were talking about scope services, endoscopy services. David Bowl and I had a conversation about that as well as Susie. So we'll start evaluating that, you know, to see, you know, what's the best course of action to try to implement something like that here in the county. Because if you have CHP, you got to go to Tallahassee for those services.
That's right.
You know, Blue Cross Blue Shield, of course, you can go to Sacred Heart or Panama City in Tallahassee, but we don't have anything in the county here that provide those services. And so that's something that we'll begin to look at and evaluate, you know, see how can we bring that service here, you know, to the hospital. The potential primary care physician, Susie mentioned about that. The physician reached out to us, and so we'll follow up with some conversation with her with that, and hopefully to be very favorable. You know, we had a number of physicians that reached out to us, and, you know, being that we were, well, I'm just not going to say that, but anyway, they kind of backed out. But hopefully this one here, she reach out and we should have some favorable conversations with her. She liked this area already. She visited this area a lot, so it may be something that can be a big win for us to bring at least a primary care physician into our facility. We talked about the east and west clinic closures already during the holiday season for maintenance and painting. Craig, come up for a moment. Weems helipad, John had sent out an email to all of us, which was good, updating us on the helipad areas in the county. Craig has been working to get the helipad approved by DOT. It's been an ongoing process. And Craig, just want to get an update on what you've been doing with that.
Yeah, I've contacted Steve Bershincom, and as I told Mr. Berry earlier, I'm going to be working with him to see if he can help push this along, because it is a lot of paperwork. We started this project way back, and it just, it kind of fell off, and, but we're back on it now. And the paperwork that came through is, everybody's got till 2030 to get it resolved and done and licensed. So that's what we're going to start working on now. The helipad at the airport, last requirements that I'm aware of is we had to have lights on all four corners. We had to have the sock pole, and that was pretty much it. Now, they may require a fence around it. They may not. The fire department, our protocol is to come every time there's a life flight at the airport or the hospital. That's our protocol. We have to be on site when they page us out to go. So that's what we do right now. And I'll check on the license for the one at the clinic that we have. I'll check and see about that, if that license is still good. We've only used it one time. The pilots will not land there due to the trees that are really close to that pad. They like an approach where they can come in. They don't like coming straight down because of wind shear. So we'll have to get with the county and see if they want to cut those trees down, so we can be able to get those helicopters to come in there if we need it.
They've never landed there. They don't like going there.
No, I know they don't. Well, when we had the grand opening back in 2011, that was the first thing that pilot told me.
Yeah.
And I walked out there, and
Long
he
time
said,
ago.
"We will not be landing here till we get all these trees." And I told him, but it didn't get done. So they've only used it one time. The only thing I've got left that's over there is the flag or the sock, and I've got a sock. All I got to do is let that pole down and put that sock back up there. And we've had it all cleaned up, grass cut and everything. So, and the next project out there is to take a pressure washer and wash it all down. Lights still work. Well, we check that. I check that about once a month, but all of those work. And there's a switch on the outside of the building. So if the fire department comes with that helicopter or EMS, they can cut those lights on without anybody having to be inside the clinic.
Yeah, and the reason why, the reason why we, the one in Apalachicola, if there's an emergency, you can land anywhere in the county, so they, our facility still can be used, because usually when they come, it's an emergency at that time. But
yeah,
we wanted to get it FDOT certified.
Right. Yeah, and when this came about several years ago, had the city gotten with Duke Energy, that's probably about 20 years ago now, they could have had the lines buried underground. And how this all got started was when Duke Energy came, they called FDOT. And of course, they had to put the orange glow balls up on the top of the wire so they could see it coming in. So that's how this started. That pad at the hospital, just so everybody knows, was poured by volunteers years ago when the Department of Health was built, because that's where the landing pad used to be. Yeah. So a little bit of history there.
Now, while Craig is up, it's not on my report, but give them an update on our generator and the CT machine.
Okay, all right. On the CT, we've got, I believe, if I've looked at it right, and I'm going to do some more checking, follow-up, but on the CT machine through ACA, we've been approved to do all that, but since we've gotten this new generator in place, we've got to, it's going to be on a separate project. We can't tag it in on there because it is a new project according to ACA. So we're getting the paperwork and the drawings drawn up for that. Gary Gargis, who used to be an architect for ACA, is coming on board to help us. And I met with him and an engineer, James Lamb, who's been at the hospital before, about this, and he's aware of everything. So he's going to draw more plans that our other architects had that weren't quite right because the generator was kind of thrown in at the last minute. We wanted to put in a transformer just for the CT, but because of regulations, Duke Energy can't do that. So now we're into this area here. So we're going to, as soon as they get that drawn up, we'll get the plans and we'll submit them to ACA for review and approval. And unfortunately, it'll be January the 15th before they can even review the plans, because they've got so many other things going on. David and I talked to Scott Waltz, who's the supervisor of all
the
all
director
this.
of
Yeah,
ACA.
director, yeah. And he said maybe we could tie it into this project we already have, but they wouldn't allow it. So
They.
the other ACA,
Yeah, agents for healthcare
the agents
administration.
of that division,
Yeah,
the inspectors.
Yeah, what happened is that initially when we had the CT machine, we were gonna run it off the old generator also, and those plans would go on board. But then when the new generator came, we thought, well, it makes sense now to connect that CT machine to the new generator. But with the new generator, ACA has a whole set of other plans you got to do,
Yeah.
which is very important.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Because this came about, ACA generator, review of generators came about, there was a death back in Hollywood, Florida, 3 years ago at a nursing home, when the generator failed. And so now they got all these new guidelines for generators here.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that we
Yeah,
follow their plans.
also with this, I'll go ahead and tell you some of the stuff we've got to have. We've got to have a wall, concrete wall built as high as our generator, all the way around that. So that fence is going to come down, and we're going to have steel doors, a pair of steel doors that go into that area. That's part of the requirements. So we're going to have to, Gary's going to work on all that, get all that laid out for us on diagram, and have it drafted up and drawn, and then we'll start getting contractor bids to get that going.
Does the grant take care of that additional stuff?
No.
That's not in the grant, no. No, I know, yeah, yeah. Yeah, every time you touch something, you gotta bring it up to
Okay.
today's standards, and it's a little bit of a
Yeah.
slowdown. But also, I'm gonna talk with the guys, with GE Tech, and see maybe if we can move forward with putting in the CT and get to that point. But Dave and I were talking yesterday, we wanna make sure our warranty on this doesn't start until we hook it up and it's starting to run. So
Gotcha.
trying to move them forward. We don't try to move the process forward. That way, January, they approve everything, then we can, move ahead. But there's still a process to that. We got to have an extra fuel tank, because now new regulations is you got to have 1,400 gallons of diesel fuel on hand to run 72 to 96 hours in case of a storm. So we've got to add another 1,000-gallon tank. County's already, Aaron's already taken care of that. We've got that taken care of. So what I'll have to do in that process is we'll have to have a standby generator hooked up to the building while they transfer from this generator to that generator. And then I'll also have to have a fuel tank truck sitting on site with that extra 1,000 gallons, because I can't put that fuel tank in until we remove the old generator and then pour concrete slab for that fuel tank. I know, it's,
Sound like you got it covered though.
I got it
Well,
covered.
one thing about it, we were waiting for a new generator. Thank
Yeah.
God we did get one. The county
Yeah.
got a
Generator,
grant
that's fine.
for a whole new generator. But
Yeah.
ACA got these requirements. Agents for Healthcare
Yeah.
We gotta
Administration.
do it, you don't need to worry about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
we got to follow the
So can you run the CT scan machine off of the old generator while you're doing the
No, sir.
No.
other renovations?
No, sir. That was why we were going to do the transformer on the outside of the building with Duke Energy, and then Duke's engineers got out there and said, nope, regulations won't allow us to put it there. And we couldn't put a meter on the outside of the building. They're getting away from, I forget all the technology they say, or technical issues, but they don't put any more meters on an outside of a brick building anymore. Where it was located. Yeah, the old generator's not, it doesn't have enough power to run that. It's only 100 kW.
So I just want Craig to come up with that, because that's something, we dealing with the new generator, which we thank God that we get a new generator. We
Yeah.
just, been a long
I
time
mean, we've been
coming.
waiting 5 years
5
with
years
that
for it.
grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll just have to do what we got to
Waiting
do.
longer than that for a new generator too,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not just built. They're waiting on you to call them in about 6 months, to get one built.
And I don't want to be at my office about 6, 7 months just to get this thing done, so.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah,
how much you're
I'm just
doing.
glad we didn't go ahead and move him.
No, so we'll.
Yeah, get a portable building.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but once
Put
I,
him out there in the pasture.
yeah, what I can do is, but really, once we get if I can get GE to, if they give us a timeline, at least we can if we get the CT, my office renovated, get everything ready, put the CT in there. Then once the generator stuff get hooked up,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Then I'll find a new location.
You could be like the Lincoln lawyer, do it in the back of your car.
I can always do that. No problem. I'm very flexible.
You're flexible, I know.
I found a spot. Maybe I'll follow James over to the EOC. Who knows? But,
Hey, yeah, that office is pretty big back there.
no. All right.
I would like to invite the board to get a chance to stop by the hospital, look at the new floors going in. They look good. They make this completely changed.
Yeah, y'all need to come by and look at them. We're
Might
actually,
sound
David
very
and I.
minor, but it's just completely.
Yeah, it makes a whole world of difference. I mean, first impressions, you're looking down. I mean, so we're getting there. We're fixing to have. We've got enough material that we're going to finish the patient hallway first, the hallway, and then I've ordered the other 7 rooms to put the flooring in there. I have enough for 1 room now, and we're setting up some time to come to start doing that too. And then we're going to start working on the rest of the
Do you
floors.
take up the old tile or just pop it
No.
right over? Just pop it right
No,
over?
we can't. No, they come in and they sand that floor down.
They sand it down,
Rough it,
okay.
and they skim coat it with a leveler.
Oh, okay.
The reason it can't pull it up is because the glue is asbestos.
That's what I thought. You don't want to pull it up. You
Yep.
don't mess, okay?
Yep. So we don't disturb that. Mm-mm. Okay,
All right. Thanks,
we're all
Craig.
caught up.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Craig.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Item I on my report, the Regional Rural Health Collaboration. Last week, area hospital CEOs met with Mayor Mayhew, President of the Florida Hospital Association, to discuss collaboration initiatives to strengthen services, expand access to care, ensure compassionate care close to home. We also discussed opportunities to leverage funding with the Rural Health Transformation Program, and that's funding that's coming out from the federal government. So we all met together and talked about different ways that we can collaborate and partner together to try to pull down funds and probably strengthen our resources as well. So it was a very good meeting over at Calhoun Liberty Hospital, very beautiful new hospital over there, I might add.
Yes, it is.
So we had the various CEOs that met in that area. Career Source Partnership, Courtney, Susan, Mel, and I met with Career Source regarding new funding opportunity that they received to partner with Weems. The funding opportunity will pay for training for our existing employees and pay for some upfront salary costs for new employees. We're looking forward to partnering with Career Source. We partnered with them before. So they wrote a grant, and they didn't think they were going to get it, but we didn't know they put us in the grant to offer training, some good trainings for our team at Weems. There's also some upfront costs for some new employees, so that's very important to have. The Becker's 13th Annual CEO CFO Roundtable event. I'll be participating as a panelist at Becker's 13th Annual CEO CFO Roundtable event. This event brings together C-level executives for dynamic discussions and debates on critical topics, including rural health care, digital transformation, health equity, C-suite diversity, and more. This event will be attended probably have over 1,000 plus executive level attendees. I'm looking forward to sharing some information at that particular conference, and hopefully I can see what other hospitals around the nation is doing and see if we can bring it back here. But I was asked to be a panelist at one of the conference topics, and they've asked me a few times before, but this is my first time going. So I'll go up there and bring back some good information, and it'd be a good opportunity to share what our hospital is doing, on a national level.
What is, it's named Becker's?
Yeah, Becker's Healthcare, and Becker's that's an annual news organization, Becker's, and they have different conferences for C-level suites hospitals, throughout the nation, every year. And so this particular conference is geared towards CEOs and CFOs, on the suite level. And And they have a lot of different topics, like I say, you know, it's a very, very big conference there.
And where does this take place?
Chicago. We're in the city. So if you need me, just text me or call me.
Well,
They have good hot dogs.
I'm not gonna say.
Chicago's got good hot dogs too, I can tell you that right now.
Not gonna say.
Keep them.
All right, yeah, John, keep that comment to yourself after the meeting there. Also, just remind everybody, we have the executive risk management session, followed by the executive IT session. And then our next regular governing board meeting will be in November. We need to decide what date that we want to have it.
What date? Yeah, we need to decide that because I don't think we want to have it on Thanksgiving.
That's right, we don't want to.
And I don't know if people got travel plans the day before. I'll need to ask the board, ask y'all some questions, you know.
So it would normally be on what, the 27th?
what would it fall?
Yeah, that's a Thursday. It fall on it's not fall on Thanksgiving, so you can have it. We can do one before
The 20th maybe?
the week before
What day is Thanksgiving on?
the 20th.
The 20th maybe?
On a Thursday?
Yeah, I'll be out of the country on the 20th.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, let's get you back in the country then. What about a little before, after, like the Tuesday afterwards or something? What do you think?
You know, we don't really. What we could do, we could meet December, have an early meeting in December, like December 5th, I think. Yeah.
I'll be in New York for December 5th.
Okay. It's gonna be cold up there, but you'll be all right.
Well, December 5th would be a Friday, December 4th,
Oh, my bad.
that's a Thursday.
I'll be in New York,
Yeah,
December
yeah.
4th through
Okay.
December 10th.
Are you okay with it?
How about December 11th?
New York.
I'll be in New York.
New York?
Yes,
New
sir.
York? Well,
Can we
what-
not do
shopping?
it Thursday, the 20th in November?
The 20th? And skip the December. Usually we skip a December meeting anyway.
Okay,
I'm okay with the 20th.
Will everybody be here on the 20th?
20th of November sounds good to me.
You got the
How
country.
about
with-
you?
I'll be leaving on the 18th,
Okay,
So
okay,
you're
so
out.
she'll be leaving on 18th.
which is fine. You'll have a quorum.
Where are you going, Miss Dolores?
Panama.
Okay. Oh, good for you.
Okay.
20th.
So I
20th.
don't need to worry about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
all right, so November 20th, we'll do
November
it
20th.
on that day.
Oh, Lord. I shouldn't have said that. I told the whole county.
Oh,
Okay, David, anything else?
yeah, I'm finished, that's why you. when we-
Okay, we
when we
now
brought-
have, Alliant Management Report, I guess. You didn't, we didn't
you
really
got
have
anything for
that, I
Alliant?
guess.
No, there's no updates for that.
The foundation.
Foundation, here we go. We're about 10 days out now, so get your tickets. There's currently 100 tickets sold, so we have some space. I think we could go up to 170 people at the venue. I think that's their maximum capacity, so we definitely can sell a few more tickets if anybody can get out there and get their people together. I'm going to send these down. There's some flyer here, which will give you, oops, give me 2 of those. Send the rest down that way. And so right now, we've got a couple we've got the Admiral table, which is great. Thank you, Mr. Bolin and Alliant for that. The only thing on your end, we need to know the names of the ticket holders, because when we're going to give out tickets, we need to know that they're part of that table and they just didn't walk up from the street.
Give them some wristbands.
We've got a couple other different levels, and we've done pretty well on the high-end levels, but we need to get more individual tickets sold. We did an online auction, and it's open now, so you can go onto the online auction. There's stuff you can purchase or put a bid on the online purchase. We're going to have some things at the event as well, just to showcase it. We've got a Dolphins football helmet signed. We've got a Fender Stratocaster guitar signed by Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, boy. Wow.
We've got the lyrics and song book from Southern Voice, Kenny Chesney, signed by Kenny Chesney, and that mentions Apalachicola in that song. So we've got a couple things. We've got some local artist pieces and stuff that's going to be there. That's going to be the on-site auction, but the online auction has a lot more items on there too that you can bid on, and that's going to run through the event. And you don't have to be at the event to go on to the online auction and bid on something. So it's kind of an open auction.
So you scan that, it pops up on your phone.
Yep, those are QR codes, correct.
I gotta
Correct.
get used to doing that. That's something new on me. Everybody does that.
That's all I can say about those. Obviously, November 9th, like I said, 10 days out, so with the big pushes on to get the final number up so we can get some, a good check at the end of the day to hand over to Weems. Thank you.
Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay. Anybody got anything else? Board, I'd like to thank everybody. I think we've got an excellent board here, some diverging opinions, but we've all managed to come to some kind of agreement. We'll have our risk management executive session, IT policies, and meeting adjourned. Let's come back in about 5 minutes.